Conway, who's slow coming up the hill, and all of a sudden, here will come Chris Barrett. He's got himself an angle and a line and a way and a no and a how to the outside to take the lead, and he's done it.
Will this be complete though? Conway backs it up, tries to set it up, coming towards the outer loop this time. Barrett now to the race lead, had to recover from more than 5 seconds back after the two were separated on the pit sequence. Now Conway has one more section to try and find a way back around his teammate.
I wonder if he slowed up to make sure he had enough fuel to make it to the end. That will be the only reason why he dropped so dramatically on the run up through the S's section. But as he takes this rise now, if he's left himself enough on the fuel save, he'll have one place to attack. It's here at the heel of the boot. He looks to the inside. He sends up the inside. Oh, and the two make contact.
Bit of a battle down into Brooklands here, and this is Michael Davies trying to keep Lowendick from getting a second spot from his starting position, up from 8th to 7th, trying to get 6th spot, and he's on the inside. It's a drag race as they come onto the old pit straight, and he's going to have the inside. Teddy probably not going to give this one up as he's got the desired position. He has the higher ground. No, he's not going to have to give it up. Look at sending it in deep. Michael Davies is absolutely monster through there. Do they dare 3 wide? Trepanier thinking about it, then backs out, still carrying on down into the Maggots Beckons quarters, and Michael Davies is going to be able to successfully defend that spot.
It is quite amazing the turn of pace that Waring has gotten. Oh, there's been traffic for McGreevy up ahead, Zachary Brown and the Dog Bear BMW, and that has compromised Osowski, and that's going to be Waring trying to thread the needle on the outside coming into the 90, and at the pincer move with Osowski. He almost gets into Waring on the inside, but just manages to pull it up in time.
They've got to be a little bit careful about trying to be too aggressive going down into China Beach. It looks like Day's going to try to be later on the brakes, maybe make the move. Barbosa getting a little bit squirrely under braking, and that is all the opportunity that Rodrigo Mies needs. He's going to try to send it around the outside of madness. Here he comes, diving it down side by side with Raymond Day.
As we watch him go down through the corkscrew, back towards the right side, looking towards another amazing finish, taking up that inside, going into turn 10, he takes the lead as he hold it.
Can Prieto hold on after the descent of the rainy curb? Here comes Espez. One final corner for the season. Later on the brakes is Espez. Espez goes for the cut. Prieto parks it on the apex.
As we watch the heart rate monitor almost making contact in front of him, side by side, up through Hawthorne, still nobody willing to give way between them, and through he goes. Kimmo manages to get in, so does Michael DeTurk, as Suarez unfortunately dropping down to 13th.
Let's see, though, if Horvath is going to have anything. Tries to send a little bit of a move up through the S's. Here he comes. A last-minute dive bomb. That is going to be into the inside line. Holding out to the outside as Horvath tries to get it. They spin. They spin across the line and make contact.
Hey there, I'm Nicholas Dubois, co-founder of Advanced SimRacing. We are a Canadian company. So what we did here today is for a real petrol head. He's really passionate about cars, as you can see behind me. We did a turnkey solution for him based on his needs. We try to gather as much information as we can on our client. And like we did today, we install a D-box system. We install ultra-wide cube control steering wheel. We try to provide the best quality for your budget. So let's say if you want a budget of 10 grand, we're gonna give you something that's the best for 10 grand. If you want 20 grand, then we always try to stay within your boundaries. We do try to make it as easy as possible. So the client, once we install everything, it's pretty much gonna be a turnkey. So he's gonna press start on his computer, And right after, we'll try to explain everything, how it goes, how it works, and then he's ready to go. Our aluminum is from USA, treated in Canada, cut in Canada. So we do sand all our aluminum piece just to make sure the powder coat sticks to it. And that's one of the reasons why we use powder coat, is to make sure you have the best aluminum finish in the industry. And our quality is beyond what you can get with any other competitors right now. We are really, really passionate about all the gear, all the cockpits, all the sim hardware. And that's why we want to create something that's really going to reflect our passion into our product. Come visit us at advancedsimracing.com. You can always reach us if you have any questions. You can call us, you can text us, you can go on Facebook, like our page, ask us questions over there, and we'll make sure to answer every questions there is. We are very passionate about what we do, and we try to make it as easier for you to go into the sim racing world, because there's a lot of gear, there's a lot of options, but let us guide you through your process, and let's hope you'll be an Advanced Sim Racing customer.
This time last week, many drivers were preparing for a rough night, and a rough night is what they got. The dirt round at Eldora took many casualties, but now the field can shake off the clay and get back to business on a more familiar surface. The Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series races at New Hampshire Motor Speedway tonight for the 5th round of 2022 Season 1, and you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hello everyone, I'm Reese Gardner, and with me in the booth as always is Chris Phoebe. Behind the scenes is our director Zach Johnson, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. New Hampshire is an enduringly popular track for stock car racing. Its flat yet variable banking providing a real challenge to the drivers. Let's see what our track guide has to say.
New Hampshire Motorway, sometimes referred to by the name of the town that hosts the track, Loudon. It's also usually referred to as a 1 mile oval, but the actual track length is just a few hundredths more than a mile. The facility as we know it today opened in 1990, and a lot goes on here. IndyCar and kart cars were an early fixture here at Loudon, and they were fast on this paperclip style oval. And while this still shows up on many IndyCar league schedules, the real life IndyCar doesn't come around right now, but they always flirt with the idea. NASCAR, though, has given itself a huge presence here. The Cup Series has had some interesting races over the years. The Grand National Series also makes a yearly trip with the Cup Series. The trucks don't run here right now, but they have in the past. Both East and West ARCA Tours make the rounds, and NASCAR's Modified Series featured 3 races at New Hampshire. Even the Canadian NASCAR Series comes across the border to race at the Magic Mile. The track is known for being mostly flat, but since 2002 has featured progressive banking from 2 to 7 degrees. That's led to a little bit of multi-groove racing thanks to the paperclip style and as the track surface ages in the harsh New England winters. Long straightaways mean you have to get on the binders hard, but your lap times are really dependent on when you can get back on the throttle again on corner exit, while keeping that rear end planted. Will magic happen on the Magic Mile today? Stay tuned here on GSRC to find out at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Well, Chris, it's a good old 1 mile speedway here in Loudon, New Hampshire. Nice and flat, and as I said, should provide a great challenge to the drivers here tonight. Very wide surface as well, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of racing this puts on in the trucks.
Yeah, they call this place the Magic Mile, and it can be magical if you get the drive just right. just a hair over a mile. This track is pretty flat in the corners. It's going to take a lot of finesse and ability to get around here, and basically this is going to be a smooth as fast kind of night.
Certainly seems that way. We'll be racing 85 laps tonight, as usual, around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Our series sponsors, first and foremost, our broadcast is brought to you by ASR, owned and operated by passionate SimRacers. Advanced SimRacing designs and builds the sturdiest and most durable aluminium profile racing simulation cockpits available in the market today. Visit them at advancedsimracing.com.
It is also sponsored by RaceLab. RaceLab helps you to improve your driving skills. With modern overlays, race statistics, and native VR integration, you can get the best out of iRacing. Start using it now for free at racelab.app.
Today's broadcast is also proudly sponsored by ButtKicker. ButtKicker products add an incredible immersion and realism to any game. Feel every nuance and truly put yourself in the driver's seat. Check them out at thebuttkicker.com.
And finally, the PRL NASCAR Truck Series is brought to you by NinjaTrader. Ready to compete against the financial markets? Supporting over 60,000 users across the globe, NinjaTrader provides award-winning trading software and brokerage services. NinjaTrader is always free to use for advanced charting, backtesting, and trade simulation. Visit NinjaTrader.com to get started with a risk-free trading simulator and start tracking your performance.
Well, the lie of the land going into this round, it is still Bradley Holly who leads the drivers' standings here in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series, and Thomas Sink, with a great result at Eldora Speedway, has snatched that second place from Abner Acosta, holding on to that as well. Abner did not get the best points haul coming out of last week at Eldora, so Chris, this is a good opportunity for him to bounce back here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, Abner lost ground to fourth and fifth place a lot more than he gained on first and second last week. So with this track, definitely seems to favor the drivers with a road racing background. So Abner has a great opportunity to capitalize and get some valuable points today.
He does indeed. In terms of the team points, well, no surprise that Waterback, Overdrive Racing and Backrow Racing lead the team's standings. Waterback locked out the podium at Eldora. It was a great night for them last week, and they are just continuing to extend that gap over the other teams in the standings. It's now 40 points, it seems, separating the two Waterback teams from the Loud Pedal.
That's right. Waterback really dominating things here in this season, and it's shown with them both are on the top two positions of the team standings. But who knows? There's still a lot of points left on the table this season, and maybe the Loud Pedal could hit the Loud Pedal and close that gap.
We shall see. You don't want to get on the Loud Pedal too hard at New Hampshire, otherwise you are going for a big old spin. Race details for tonight. As I mentioned earlier, we're racing 85 laps around New Hampshire tonight. Of course, it is a fixed setup, no spare truck, 24 incident limit, and 4 total tire sets. And with the flat surface here at New Hampshire, you do need to get some good rotation in the truck to get out of the turns. So the drivers are going to have to be very careful about how they use up those rears. And of course, we have a sponsor as well here at Global Sim Racing Channel. Make sure to check out the Majors Garage, home of free Baseline Plus setups. Get help from any of the garage coaches 24/7. Sign up now for awesome, affordable monthly subscriptions, telemetry, coaching, and more at majorsgarage.com. Or use our special discount code MajorsGSRC for 10% off. We have a link in the description below that directly applies our special offer. Well then, as we see the number 48 of Thomas Sink making his way out of pit lane, that's one place, Chris, that is going to be a point of contention in the race. You have to really thread the needle to get out of the pits here. That entry onto the back straight is quite narrow.
Yeah, and it really feeds you right into the danger zone, so to speak. I mean, you come off of turn 2 on the backstretch, and you're right into the thick of things with people trying to get up to speed. So that pit exit can definitely be tricky.
That it can. We are in the qualifying session, and Thomas Sink bringing himself around on his first hot lap. We got quite a few drivers that got caution points at Eldora. Of course, it was quite the chaotic night with plenty of cautions, and the following drivers have earned a no qualify penalty from that. Baron Hilton, Ryan Goodall, Danik Momi, Jose Medina, and Nicholas Hunter. You won't be seeing those guys completing laps in the qualifying session tonight as Thomas Sink goes fastest for the time being. Mark Kalin only 2/10 behind. Out comes Bradley Holly. We'll have to wait and see what he can do to put himself up on the top step of the standings. Baron Hilton has an additional no-qual penalty to be served next round due to attaining 1.5 caution points at Eldora, and Clayton Curry and Bob Clement still have no qualifying penalties carrying over from previous rounds. So quite a few drivers here tonight that won't be setting times, but of the drivers that are setting times, it is still Thomas Sink on top. Jeff Evans has managed to get within 2/10 of him, but Bradley Holly is currently on a lap, the championship leader here, and demonstrating what is the optimal line here at New Hampshire, Chris. It is a lane up from the bottom. It's just too flat way down low to get a good run, as Bradley sets a 30.3 to start things off. That is a great time instantly to provisional pole.
That's right. And you mentioned the line around here. It is variably banked, so that kind of middle groove up off the bottom is definitely quicker. You have enough banking to get some momentum built up, and you stay off the flat of the track and get rolling pretty good. If you can get that very bottom line dialed in to be fast, though, you definitely have potential to pass a lot of trucks that way.
You definitely do. Abner Acosta has gone up to second on his first qualifying run, and a little bit of oversteer out of turn 2. That might stymie his progress just a little bit, but he is within quite a small margin of Bradley Holly there, 12 thousandths of a second. Let's see if he can improve on his time here. 30.312 the lap to beat, and unfortunately that didn't count. Looks like he made some contact with the wall on his second lap, so Abner Acosta will not take pole here tonight. Meanwhile, the number 60 of Colton Lane, he's had an up and down season so far. Definitely some good results in the bag. He'll be hoping for the same here tonight. Coming out of turn 4 now, and will set no time on that lap. I believe that might be an out lap that he has just completed. Yes, that is his first lap. So Colton keeping it nice and smooth through turns 1 and 2, staying well away from the wall on exit. It's very easy to swing the rear end out and clabber the wall.
Yeah, that is very easy to do here. The track gets really tight off the corners. As you can see, that's a very almost head-on angle into the wall there off of 4. So it definitely tightens up, and a little bit of a mishandling in the corners. You can get that snap understeer and basically go right into the wall.
Well, it looks like Colton has not been able to get a valid lap in there on that previous run. He must have had a ever so minor contact with the wall. What I do notice here is he is going deep into turns 3 and 4, trying his best to get a late apex, but it just doesn't seem like he's getting the run he wants there. And it looks like 31.0 is going to be the lap for him. That's good enough for 20 seconds so far. It looks to me like with here being Denny Cervantes coming across the line, this is going to be... I don't think he's actually going to get a lap in here. There's only 10 seconds left in the session. So looks like Danny Cervantes is going to have to settle for 30th out of this one. And, of course, we do have Goodall, Medina, Lemieux, Ailey, Lawrence, and Guerra not setting times in the qualifying session. So, as qualifying draws to a close, we can go through our grid. For the 5th round of 2022 Season 1, it is going to be Bradley Holly and Abner Acosta on the front row. Business as usual for those guys. Thomas Sink starts 3rd alongside Austin Hunter. Clayton Montgomery and Jeff Evans start 5th and 6th, with Brendan Chatley and Mark Kalin taking up row 4. Meanwhile, the top 10 is rounded out by Dalton Gaia and AJ Roderick.
Then just outside of the top 10 is going to be Nicholas Hunter with a good performance, coming home 11th over Charles Sumner. Ricky Barbary and lucky 13th with Paul Williams to his outside. Row number 8 will be Adam Shane and Adam Zemke. with Richard Thomas and Aaron Webb making up row number 9. CM Pennington will be inside of row 10, and Jim Westerfield completes your top 20 starters.
21st is going to be the number 82 of Clayton Curry. He starts alongside Colton Lane, who we saw struggled a bit in qualifying there. Bob Clement has actually run a lap in qualifying, so he's still going to have to serve a no-qual penalty at a future round there. Stacey Hunter starts in 24th place alongside him. Ryan Trevor and Danik Momi on row 13, with Randy Caldwell and Michael Lemieux starting on row 14. And then those are the, and then we get into the drivers that didn't set times. Cervantes 29th, Ryan Goodall rounding out the top 30, and the final 3 spots taken up by Daniel Ailey, Jose Medina, and Joao Guerra. So now we wait for the drivers to pull away on their single formation lap. For every track that is a mile and over, there is only a single formation lap on the iRacing service. So not much time here for the drivers to get their eye in for the start.
It really kind of shows how wide the track is when you see them all gridded up there.
Yeah, absolutely does. We have 4 cameras on the Zoom feed tonight as they pull away. That is Austin Hunter we're taking a look at there, and quite the view that we'll be able to see. He's certainly feeling optimistic about this one. Aaron Webb still running that F1 style rim, which was certainly interesting for him at Eldora. Meanwhile, we have Mark Kalin as well, who jumped onto the podium at Eldora last week. He'll be looking to try and do the same here, work his way up through the field after starting 8th. And of course, Bradley Holly, our pole sitter, our championship leader. Concentration face on as per usual. So now we prepare for the drivers to get going. And Holly a little bit ahead of Acosta here on the start, but Abner quickly makes good on that and starts to draw level with Bradley Holly coming out of the final turn. We'll have to wait and see when he decides to put the hammer down. As the pace car pulls in, the green flag flies, we are away, and it's a slightly better start there from Abner Acosta. He was a bit more on the ball when it came to green flag, and he dives into the first turn, but Bradley Holly with the inside line will get the lead back right away. It's a nice clean start from everyone in the field as our 2 front row sitters are side by side.
And it's going to be Holly with that preferred line through 3 and 4. Acosta still on the newer pavement there. Going to try and hang with them, and actually does a pretty good job staying with them off at turn 4. But Bradley Holly going to be leading our initial lap.
Abner does seem quite confident on the fronts there, coming into the turns here. But Holly's just going to edge ahead of him here, and he has gotten the gap that he needs to slip in ahead. But Acosta going to go for the inside line here. He is not wanting Bradley Holly to get away.
And it looks like Holly pushes pretty wide there, but able to hold him off. A great crossover move by Acosta. Holly gets loose off of 4 there.
Oh, goodness, he is really pushing it on those rears. The top 3 are starting to break away from the rest of the field here. Thomas Sink is sticking with Holly and Acosta, but it's side by side for 4th. Austin Hunter and Clayton Montgomery side by side for that 4th place. They got Jeff Evans trailing behind them. The top 6 have not changed position, but we do have, oh, it looks like Bob Clement might have gone for a spin here. He has managed to get off the racetrack, but there we go. As he pulls back onto the racetrack, the caution comes out. I'm wondering if there was another incident further down the line. There might have been the number 11 there, and that is where is number 11 on my timing? Richard
Looks
Thomas.
like that's yeah, Richard
second.
Thomas.
Yes, of course. It is morning for me over here in Perth, Western Australia, so I am still waking up. I do apologise if I take an extra couple of seconds to identify drivers. Let's take a look at what happened to Richard Thomas. So it was not Bob Clement who brought out the caution, but that's what happened to him. A little bit of contact there in the midfield. Drivers trying to make their way off the turn. It's very difficult to find the space you need. What on earth happened to Thomas?
Yeah, looks like 2 just touched wheels there. And looks like a little bit of wheel hop, and then he got nailed in the front end.
That was Paul Williams that he made contact with coming into turn 3. So it's unfortunate there for Richard. He's got quite a bit of damage on the front right, and also looks like maybe rear left as well. And with no spare truck, especially considering that they banged wheels, that might have done a number on the suspension. Richard is at a standstill in the pits. So is Bob Clement. And we got Paul Williams and Colton Lane also down there in the lane as well. And you see the damage there for Paul Williams. He made some big contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is a track where the drivers are kind of prone to these types of incidences, Reese. It's just tight quarters going through the turns here, and definitely touching wheels like that is a definite possibility. But while we do have a second, I'm going to embarrass you on the air here a little bit. You mentioned that you're just waking up, but you're waking up on your birthday.
Well, actually, my birthday was yesterday. I am 13 hours ahead of American Eastern Time, so it is January 27th today. But thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I had a very nice, quiet day yesterday.
Nope, in freedom units, it's still your birthday. We're counting it.
Alrighty, no worries. It is still the 26th in America, so wonderful. Thanks very much, Chris. I appreciate it. 28 years old.
Just a puppy.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes the way my joints creak when I get up in the morning, I'm thinking maybe I might need a walking frame sooner rather than later. Maybe I should exercise more. That would be a thought. Either way, we're gearing up for the end of this caution here with Bradley Holly leading the way. And Thomas Sink was really putting the pressure on these two coming up towards the caution. So we'll see if he can make life difficult for Abner Acosta and keep him from fighting Bradley Holly too closely for this race win and for the lead of the championship. Looks like a great start from Bradley Holly as the green flag flies, and Sink has managed to get alongside Acosta. Abner didn't quite nail the start that time, but Sink a little bit unstable coming into the turn. He comes back in the mid-corner, and it looks like Abner Acosta is going to have a real fight on his hands for second place.
Yeah, Thomas Sink has really been spot on with these restarts the last few weeks, and unfortunately for Abner, he was not spot on with that last one. So now he's got his hands full with Sink, and that's definitely what Bradley Holly's going to want to see in the rear view is the second place battle there, allowing him to get some breathing room.
Got some very close racing further back in the field. Oh my goodness, the battle for fourth is going on there. You see the hot pink machine of Jeff Evans. He is alongside Clayton Montgomery. Austin Hunter just managing to get ahead of them coming down the back stretch. It looks to me like Holly is starting to skip away from everyone here. Acosta has managed to find his way past Thomas Sink for second. But Bradley Holly, in those crucial first lap or two after the caution, has managed to use those rear tires to get a great run.
Yeah, and that is something these drivers have to be cognizant of at this track pretty early on. With the flat banking and the centrifugal force there, it can eat up those tires pretty quick, and it looks like Abner went really high through that last turn, and it looks like it's opening the door back up for Thomas Sink to try to make a move.
Potentially. Not able to get alongside into turn one. Austin Hunter, though, running a little bit wide in turns 1 and 2. That's going to allow Jeff Evans alongside him there as we keep an eye on the 45 of Clayton Montgomery. He almost got a run on the 62 of Mark Kalin there. Could he fire his way up the inside? No, the door is not quite open. A big slide a little further back. Ricky Barbary going for one heck of an adventure, and he's allowed Nicholas Hunter up alongside him. Hunter's going to get the run on him here out of the final turn. Barbary not having a good time here in the opening stint, though he is still up one position from where he started. In terms of movers, wow, Ryan Goodall is up 14 positions. Remember, he didn't qualify. He is now in 15th place, and he's looking to make moves.
Yeah, this is not a track where starting that deep is a very easy thing to overcome, so that is a tremendous move by Ryan there to make his way up through the field.
could he have a top 10 on his hands? We'll have to keep an eye on him, as a little bit of hinting at side-by-side between Adam Shane and Ricky Barbary just up ahead. Barbary still losing quite a bit of momentum here. He's having a bit of trouble getting the power down. Saw a bit of oversteer there. It looks like Adam Shane has to back out as a result of that. Just behind them, Danny Cervantes having a little look on Adam Zemke, but it doesn't look like he's going to get that move done. He does push side by side between Aaron Webb and Jim Westerfield just behind him. And it's a reasonable spread for the field so far. We do have Richard Thomas out, unfortunately. Michael Lemieux did not take the start. Let's see if Richard can get that damage repaired, get back out there and get some championship points for the time being. But Adam Zemke getting chased by Danny Cervantes, gets alongside Dalton Gaia, does the number 25. And Dalton up on the slightly older pavement, or slightly newer, I'm not too sure. He doesn't quite get the run he needs. That allows Cervantes by. So now it will be Cervantes versus Zemke. But oh, Adam, he goes for a little bit of a slide in turn 1. Rear end starting to get unstable now as we're on lap 14, Chris. Those rears are crying out for some mercy.
Yeah, that's not a good thing just 14 laps into this race. If the tires are giving up already, we could be in for a long ride here.
Cervantes seems to be taking very good care of his rears. Look at the run he just got there on Zemke. He manages to edge ahead of him as they cross the line to start lap 15. Ricky Barbary, meanwhile, up ahead is still running side by side with the hard-charging Ryan Goodall. And oh dear, a little bit of contact between them. Goodall has to back out of it. Barbary gets into the wall. Looked like a bit of oversteer from Ricky. He is not taking care of his rear tyres, and they are paying him back for that. But for Ryan Goodall, it is now up into 12th position, and he is going to set about chasing down Nicholas Hunter and Charles Sumner. Got a bit of clear air ahead of him that he can use for that.
Yeah, things getting dicey in the midfield here right now. This part of the race is going to be really crucial here once we get closer to pit stops. So these drivers are going to want to get as much track position as they can, and you can see on that 54 machine, definitely looking a little beat up there. So he's going to want to maybe manage that since they don't have a spare truck to use in this series.
Oh, there we go. Caution. That's going to be an opportunity for a few drivers. The number 24 of Jose Medina has gone for a spin in the final couple of turns, and I'm wondering if that was contact. We'll have to wait and see for the replay. For Jose Medina, he's not had a good run here. It looks like it was contact with Joao Guerra. Guerra just going a bit deep, and wow, goodness me, that was that didn't seem like that level of contact would result in such a hit, but looks like that was the case.
Yeah, we watch, and yeah, it looked a bit over dramatic for the amount of contact they had, but looks like it did hop the rear wheels, which I guess when you're mid-turn can probably upset the truck a little bit.
I suppose so. It looked to me like Guerra, yeah, he was going a bit deep into the turn there and washed up coming into Medina. So we'll see if there is a caution point awarded to Joao Guerra by the stewards after this round. The pace car is out, and everyone lining up then behind the iRacing pace car. Sorry, I'm still on replay. They are now in the pits at the moment. And it looks like pretty much everyone making their way into the lane here. I'm seeing on my gel reel timing, names turning orange all over the place. And yeah, literally the entire field has come in for a pit stop. And this is pretty timely, I would think. You know, we are just about 20 laps into an 85-lap race, and remember, the drivers have 4 sets of tyres they can use. They have changed on to their second set now, and they can pretty much evenly split the difference coming towards the end of the race. Looks to me like the running order is pretty much the same coming out of pit lane. No huge gainers there.
Yeah, I think everyone was on the same thought process there. Definitely with, what was it? We were at 16, 17 laps and the caution came out. And these guys were screaming for some fresh rubber. So caution very timely for a lot of the drivers, especially the ones back in the middle of the field that were pushing really hard on those tires during that run.
Indeed, I think Ryan Goodall and Danny Cervantes are going to be happy that they've got some fresh rubber on the truck now. They really had to push to work their way up through the field. Goodall and Cervantes are 12th and 14th respectively. Goodall up 17 places, Danny Cervantes up 14. And that is quite impressive from the both of them. We might see both of them in the top 10 by the midpoint of the race if that momentum continues.
Yeah, so it's almost like a reset here at working on lap 20, getting everything rearranged here, Reese. And so far, I think we've seen a pretty solid run out of Bradley Holly up front. But I think if Abner Acosta can get that next restart timed out right, I think Bradley could have his hands full.
Certainly could. Abner has run Holly quite close when they've been racing together over the last few rounds. Of course, Abner has had a few rounds where he's had difficulties and had to work his way up through the field. I cast my mind back to Dover a couple weeks ago. Not only did Acosta start way down in the field, but he was involved in a spin and a wreck and had to work his way back up again. So he's missed out on quite a few championship points so far this season. Bradley Holly has had nowhere near as bad luck as Abner Acosta has. But now they are together once again on the front row of this restart. And Thomas Sinks still attaining third. Jeff Evans has made his way up 2 positions in the pit stop cycle. Mark Kalin up 3. And Charles Sumner is now in the top 10 as they prepare to get started. So there have been some small gainers here on this pit stop. But now we get back to racing action, waiting for the green flag. Bradley Holly goes early, takes them by surprise. A nice coordinated start with his Waterback teammate Thomas Sink, who manages to snatch second place from Abner Acosta coming into turn 1. But Abner really pushing in the middle groove. He's using that progressive banking to his advantage, and he gets a great exit. He keeps second place. That's awesome there from Abner Acosta. But unfortunately, that little bit of side-by-side running has given Bradley Holly a gap that may be difficult to close up.
Yeah, Bradley really able to run away and hide a little bit. Already out to over a half-second advantage on that restart. And that's a pretty good drive away when you're able to pull that kind of space off a restart.
Looking nice and clean through most of the field. I hope I don't commentators curse anyone, but we do have plenty of side-by-side running. Looking at the number 56 of AJ Roderick, he's in a 4-car battle pack here with Charles Sumner and the advancing Goodall and Cervantes. But they are not quite able to get the runs they want. Ryan getting alongside Charles Sumner. He's going to have to push on the fronts quite hard here coming into turn 1 to get the move done. He's already got a couple of scrapes to his right-hand side, and he goes way down low at the end of turn 2, as that is Colton Lane coming to a stop on the front stretch. And that's a big shame for him. Looks like he might have been involved in quite the wreck. And Ryan Goodall and AJ Roderick running side by side there. Goodness me, for 11th and or for 9th and 10th it seems now. Goodness me, fantastic racing in the midfield so far.
Yeah, Colton Lane was one of those drivers that was really pushing it off of turn 4. So I'm wondering if maybe that reached out and bit him finally. And Ryan Girdle continuing to work his way up to the field, up into the top 10 now.
This is simply magnificent form here from Ryan Goodall. Truck number 14. He's going to try to round up Brendan Chatley soon, and Chatley has had a pretty good season so far. Consistent top 10 finishes in the rounds he's competed in, but he might stand to lose a place here to his fellow Ford F-150 as Cervantes gets a run on Roderick behind and dives down into turn 3. manages to get the move done, I believe, as long as he can pick up the throttle properly. Ryan Goodall had to back out of it. He got slightly squeezed by Brendan Chatley coming off the exit. And that's brought him back into the clutches of Cervantes, who will try and make his way past Ryan Goodall now. Little bit of a bump in the road for these two, and that has slowed their advancement through the field.
And Danny Cervantes has been in a great form this season, so Ryan's going to have his hands full trying to contend with Danny.
Well, it looks to me as though Cervantes has managed to make his way past Ryan Goodall, and the entire field running single file now. They have settled into a rhythm. We'll have to wait and see if anyone can find a little more in the tyres that they have. Who will jump into tyre preservation mode? Who will decide to push? Seeing a little bit of a look from Adam Shane on Ricky Barbary, who is still not quite where he needs to be in terms of pace. He is running a little wide there, but looks to me like things have calmed down a little bit for the time being there. It has resulted in Nicholas Hunter and everyone in front of him breaking away from this pack. They've got Adam Zemke behind them as well, trying to look for more places.
And I'm actually pretty impressed with the amount of side-by-side racing we've had today. New Hampshire kind of gets a bad rap at being a quote-unquote boring track because it is more of a driver's track with the low banking and 1 mile layout here. But the racing here has been actually really good today, and as a commentator, I'm pretty happy to see that.
As am I. It's been a nice consistent night of racing so far. We're only 30 laps into this 85-lap race, so there's still plenty more to come, I would imagine. Everyone, again, just settling into this rhythm as we ride on board here. Smack dab in the midfield with Aaron Webb. And he's currently running down in 17th. He's got the battle pack of Zemke, Barbary, and Shane just up ahead of him here. And majority of drivers running 2 lanes up from the bottom at the entry of the corner at least. But getting that late apex, trying to get the best run possible down the straights, that's what's going to enable them to try and make moves up the inside. And Webb goes a little bit early down to the lower line, coming into turns 3 and 4. But he's concentrating hard, as it looks to me as though Zemke and Barbary, well, Zemke is trying his best here to make his way past the 54, as there is a caution again. Something has gone very wrong for Daniel Ailey and CM Pennington on the front stretch. What on earth has gone on here? It looks like Pennington might have... oh dear, Ryan Traver was involved in this. Pennington was an innocent victim in all of this. Looks to me like contact between Ailey and Traver is what kicked this off.
I was going to say, it definitely looked like Brian Traver got a piece of it. You can see him down on the apron. Yeah, Traver was down on the apron through 3 and 4, and oof. Yeah, they just kind of pile in there. But yeah, racing down on that apron, you may get a little bit of extra space, but it can definitely work out to not be a very good advantage there. As you see Traver touching wheels there, and the 666 goes around of Daniel Ailey.
Ailey did nothing wrong there. He was holding his line, and there was literally nowhere for him to go as Traver came up the circuit. Well, now we reset once again, and Ailey down in the pits getting repairs done and some extra service, as we see quite a few drivers coming into the lane, mostly drivers in the midfield, the likes of Kalen, Chatley, Cervantes, Shane, Barbary, Webb, Westerfield, Curry, and Medina. They are all in the lane at the moment, looking to get their 3rd set of tyres on. But this might prove to be a disadvantage if we start to run green to the end. They will have 1 less set of tyres than everyone ahead of them, and that's basically the lead down to 18th now.
Yeah, I kind of thought we'd have a couple more takers than we did end up having, but they're, well, you see Brendan Chatley there. One of the drivers that was in the pits. Chatley is a driver that has kind of made his own luck in this series. He is not afraid to try a bit of a different strategy to basically get off cycle with the leaders and have a chance to win. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but you gotta give respect to Brendan for trying something every time.
Well, at least on this restart, all of these drivers that are on screen at the moment will be able to try and make their way up. At the moment, everyone from 1st to 18th is at a slight disadvantage with more worn tyres. But of course, our leader here, Bradley Holly, known for his tyre preservation, being able to stretch those tyres out while still putting down some excellent lap times. So, not too sure that he's going to be under much threat.
Yeah, and with that, we are starting to tiptoe our way towards halfway through this one, Reese, and so far it's been all Bradley Holly.
Yeah, he has led the way through every single lap. Abner Acosta and Thomas Sink have not been able to catch up to him once the race really gets into its groove. But as long as they can hold on to those positions, at least for Abner Acosta, it's going to be a good result because he'll be able to claw back some of that gap that he has to Holly and Sink in the drivers' standings.
Yeah, this one, just a solid finish for Abner to kind of get his wheels back underneath him will be a huge positive for him. He came into, what was it, last week, tied for the championship lead and definitely lost some ground, and it's easy to get your confidence shaken in that type of moment. So hopefully Abner able to have a good finish here today and get his head back in the game as far as the championship battle goes.
Indeed, it's going to be crucial here for the private label Team Hype, number 5. But for the Waterback Overdrive Racing, number 184, it's going to be business as usual here, taking the first starting spot here on the restart as the pace car prepares to pull into the lane, coming around to start lap 37 here at New Hampshire in the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series. Let's see when Holly decides to go. He goes early once again. The field all compressed here at the start, but Holly has no one in front of him and no one to worry about side by side as he goes into turn 1. Very well executed restart from our championship leader once again. Abner Acosta has managed to keep Thomas Sink behind him with a little bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 2. Just slightly tapping the wall with his right rear quarter. Meanwhile, Jeff Evans trying to make his way past Austin Hunter on the inside. That's quite the pack there for 4th on back. It is a proper 2x2 battle, as it seems Evans, he had a good run in turn 4, but once he got to the straight, he lost that momentum. But it looks like he might just complete the move, potentially. No, Hunter is, looks like he might have gone a little bit too deep. He has lost the position there, and now he is open to an attack from Ryan Goodall, who is continuing to just charge his way forward in this field. He is up to 6th place now, up 23 places. Ryan Goodall probably the star of the show here tonight.
Yeah, it is definitely not hard to overdrive these corners, as we saw happen there a couple moments ago. But yeah, you are right. Ryan Girdle there is just on another level, all the way up, just knocking on the door to the top 5 at this point, Reese. And yeah, that's just an impressive drive. I mean, you do have the asterisk on the hard charger award for not being able to qualify, but man, to make up that kind of ground at a track like this is no small feat.
Absolutely, and another caution has just come out, so for those drivers from 1st to 18th, it is potentially going to be an opportunity they need, as that's Ricky Barbary who has brought that one out, and we've seen that Barbary has been having some issues keeping that truck under him. But this incident, I've just taken a look at it. This could go one of two ways. It was contact with Danny Cervantes that spun him around, and actually looks like Barbary had to check up a little for Stacey Hunter. The rear end got light and he got some oversteer, and he got sent down into Cervantes, who tapped him around.
Yeah, I hope we can get another angle on that one, because it was a very interesting looking wreck there. As we see, you see Cervantes pull out to make a move. You see Stacey Hunter in the 71 to the outside. And yeah, I thought maybe Barbary came across the nose of Cervantes, but really, it looks like he just got a little bit crossed up.
Yeah, he had to check up a little bit coming into the corner, and I think the truck was a little unstable at that point. So he was in a slide when contact was made with Cervantes. Here's another view of it. Yeah, you see that Hunter was a little bit slow going, and that's how it looked from Ricky Barbari's perspective. Unfortunately, Cervantes down there, not many places the number 25 could go.
Yeah, that was just a tough one to navigate for everybody involved. So tough break for a few drivers out there, especially Ricky Barbary, but hopefully he's able to get it gathered back up and get back out there. Ricky has just had some awful luck this season. A couple times he's looked like he's had a really fast truck and had some potential to maybe have a strong finish, but it seems like just absolutely no luck.
Well, hopefully in future rounds he'll be able to get everything together and have a better run at some point, but doesn't look like it's going to happen here at New Hampshire for the time being. Update on the what seems to be retirements so far. Colton Lane is a definite retirement. Richard Thomas has managed to make his way back out on circuit. He is in 32nd position, 17 laps down. And we've had CM Pennington in the lane for some time earlier. Remember, he was involved in the incident that brought out the first caution. But Jose Medina has been in the pits for 7.5 minutes now. So I am doubtful that he'll be able to make it out anytime soon.
On the plus side, he's had enough time to get up, maybe take a bathroom break, make himself a snack.
True. So maybe we might see Jose Medina back out there and a bit more energized. We'll have to wait and see. But there is CM Pennington at the back of the field. Richard Thomas ahead of him on track, but behind him for position. And Richard's going to have to wait a little bit here before he gets more positions on Medina and Ailey. Ailey is only a couple of laps down at the moment, still stuck in the pits. Medina down 9 laps. As things stand at the moment, soon to be 10 as the lights are off on the pace car, and Bradley Holly this time has got Thomas Sink or company. Something has happened to Abner Acosta. Where is he?
Well, he's been having some connection issues on and on.
20th. He's
I wonder
actually
if
coming for another stop, it seems.
Oh, wow. That's caught us off guard with that one.
Yeah. Wasn't quite expecting that. Unfortunately, we did miss that. We apologize, but we are back to green flag racing, and Abner Acosta's going to have some work to do. He does have fresh rubber, though, as everyone in the top 8 is on 1 stop so far. Holly and Sink on those worn tyres. They're still getting pretty good starts. Jeff Evans and Austin Hunter will chase them down coming out of turn 2. As it's big side-by-side running, it's going to be 3 wide for 8th. Dalton Geyer, Adam Zemke. It was almost 3 wide. Brendan Chatley trying his best to stick his nose in here. They've got Mark Kalin for company as they do briefly go 3 wide coming out of turn 4. My goodness, this is looking quite intense here in the midfield. As back in the field, there is a spin, and that's going to be the caution out once more. That's going to be Ryan Traver, who has gone for another bit of an adventure there on the rear tyres. It looked like actually they were 4 wide out of turn 4 at that point. And unfortunately for Ryan Traver, he was coming up the circuit, and Danik Momi didn't really have anywhere to go. He had Randy Caldwell to his outside. We will see the incident here. Clayton Montgomery also involved. And there it is. Oh, that is quite big contact. Poor Richard Thomas, he was involved in that as well.
Yeah, it seems like, that was a that was a bit of a brave move. But yeah, it seems like Traver's the one down there trying the apron out, but there's not a ton of grip down there, and it's caused him some trouble twice now. So I think in the future he may want to keep his distance from the flat part of the track.
Yeah, indeed. just washing up the circuit, and, well, looked to me like there was only one way that incident was going to go. 3 wide running, and with Trevor trying to come up the circuit like that, just compressed all of those cars together. So that is another caution, and it looks like we've got Adam Zemke in the pits, Dalton Gaia as well. We've got Hueo Guerra in the pits too, as well as Trevor, of course, no surprise there. Bob Clement and Clayton Montgomery in the lane too. So we're getting a very mixed up field here, Chris, as everyone tries to suss out when they'll be able to get on their final set of tyres to the end. 39 laps to go.
Yeah, there's been some divides on strategy here in the last few stages of this race, and I think we're going to see another split here probably in the not too distant future, but really interested to see what happens here. You know, Abner just took a pit stop not too long ago. He was one of the top runners and didn't really get a chance to make much progress during that last set of stops, or during that last run before the caution. So, yeah, a lot could change here in the next 39 laps, and I'm pretty excited to see what goes on.
As am I. We'll take this opportunity to take a very quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel as more cars jump into the pits, the likes of Richard Thomas and Daniel Ailey. You're watching the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series.
Hey there, I'm Nicholas Dubois, co-founder of Advanced Sim Racing. We are a Canadian company. So what we did here today is for a real petrol head. He's really passionate about cars, as you can see behind me. We did a turnkey solution for him based on his needs. We try to gather as much information as we can on our client, and like we did today, we install a D-Box system, we install ultra-wide cube control steering wheel. We try to provide the best quality for your budget. So let's say if you want a budget of 10 grand, we're gonna give you something that's the best for 10 grand. If you want 20 grand, then we always try to stay within your boundaries. We do try to make it as easy as possible. So the client, once we install everything, it's pretty much gonna be a turnkey. So he's gonna press start on his computer, and right after, we'll try to explain everything, how it goes, how it works, and then he's ready to go. Our aluminum is from USA, treated in Canada, cut in Canada. So we do sand all our aluminum piece just to make sure the powder coat sticks to it. And that's one of the reasons why we use powder coat, is to make sure you have the best aluminum finish in the industry. And our quality is beyond what you can get with any other competitors right now. We are really, really passionate about all the gear, all the cockpits, all the sim hardware, and that's why we want to create something that's really gonna reflect our passion into our product. Come visit us at advancedsimracing.com. You can always reach us if you have any questions. You can call us, you can text us, you can go on Facebook, like our page, ask us questions over there, and we'll make sure to answer every questions there is. We are very passionate about what we do, and we try to make it as easier for you to go into the sim racing world, because there's a lot of gear, there's a lot of options, but let us guide you through your process, and let's hope you'll be an Advanced Sim Racing customer.
And we are back. You're watching the PRL NASCAR Truck Series, and we came back just in time for the next caution to come out, it seems. So we've got a few replays to go through here, Chris. Obviously, the driver's getting an all right green flag run in there, but it didn't last too long. It looks like the number 3 of Randy Caldwell might have been involved in this.
Yeah, unfortunately, this race has been a bit, well, we'll call it accident prone, I guess, as we take a look here. It looks like the 57 of Adam Shane on the inside. Oh, no, it actually was the 365 that got mixed up in that. Oh, 36. Apparently numbers are hard.
Yes. Well, number 36 getting into the back of number 3. We'll get another view of it here. Randy Caldwell, unfortunately, getting a little tag in the rear. That was Dalton Geyer, who got up the inside of him. A bit of a slide from behind for CM Pennington as well, trying to avoid all of that.
Boy, it seems like CM Pennington's just been a magnet for incidents today. Nothing that he's done wrong. He's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, like, I think 3 or 4 different times today.
Yeah, it's a real shame for him. But at least he's still out there and still running. We've got 4 cars in the pits at the moment. Randy Caldwell just completing a stop. Danik Momi doing the same. Clayton Montgomery and Bob Clement are at a standstill in their boxes at the moment. So they might be taking tyres there. Bob Clement completing his stop, 43.8 seconds. And a 41.8 second stop for Clayton Montgomery. They both make their way back out onto the circuit. So the top 27 cars out of the 32 still running are out on the lead lap as things stand. Lights still on the pace car, but that should change very soon. It is still Bradley Holly who leads the way from Thomas Sink and Jeff Evans on the podium. But Ryan Goodall has managed to make his way up into the top 5 in the intervening green flag laps.
Now, got the Iggy from our director, Zach Johnson. Looks like as of right now, if we get back to racing here shortly, we should be on track to finish under laps, Reese, but another caution could put us in danger of being time limited here in this one.
And that will be interesting. We still have the top 5 on the second set of tyres. They all pitted 36 laps ago. So I think they'll be banking on another caution coming out pretty soon. Or potentially they'll be hoping that the green flag runs are short so they can preserve these tyres to the end.
Yeah, that's a lot of laps on those tires here.
Well, we'll see how much of a handle they have on it. But the Waterback duo up the front, they have certainly shown that even on these worn tyres, they're still able to get great times out of it and keep it consistent, which seems to be key here at New Hampshire. The wide track surface belies the fact that we have had so many cautions come out due to contact. The actual lines you can take to go fast around here are quite narrow, and it's very easy to fly up into another truck. But that won't be a problem for Bradley Holly. He coordinates the start pretty well there with Thomas Sink. They keep everyone behind them, and Holly filters into the lead. But Austin Hunter, he's gotten a good run there on Jeff Evans, and he's going to try and go here for 3rd place. Doesn't quite pick up the throttle out of turn 2, though. Evans gets the better run on the inside, and Goodall is right there with them as well. Goodall, of course, also only on 1 pit stop so far. That is quite the pack behind him. He's got Brendan Chatley, Mark Kalin, Danny Cervantes, Jim Westerfield, and a whole train of trucks right behind him. But Waterback is all over the front 2 positions. Holly and Sink starting to break away from everyone here, as Evans is the last car going single file before we've got lots of 2x2 running here in the middle of the top 10.
Yeah, this race is definitely heating up here as we see a lot of side-by-side racing. In fact, Brendan Chatley looks to make it 3 wide there for a second. Luckily, that one shakes out to where nobody gets out of that one scathed. Looks like Abner Acosta driver on the move, though. He's working his way back up after falling deep in the field, taking a pit stop.
And Abner Acosta, having taken his 3rd stop of the night, he's on the freshest tyres out of anyone in the top 10. And you see it there, but oh no, it's all gone wrong for him. Front end contact, had to check up, and he got tagged from behind. That has gone all kinds of wrong for number 5, 3rd place in the drivers' standings.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the replay on that one because it did not, or it's going to have huge implications, that incident, as we now get to our replay here.
Well, Acosta, I think, there was a checkup from in front, and Jim Westerfield went into the back of Abner there. So that has lost Abner quite a few positions. He's back down to 16th place now. Get another view of it here. Yeah, Cervantes went into Chatley, and unfortunately Acosta didn't have anywhere to go. He'd already committed to the corner at that point, and Jim Westerfield, I guess you could say the same for him.
Yeah, just a chain reaction incident. Unfortunately, a product of what happens when you end up a little bit deeper in the field like that. So tough break for Abner, getting spun around there.
Well, Austin Hunter and Brendan Chatley have taken this opportunity to jump into the pits and get onto a new set of tyres. It's going to be the 3rd for Brendan Chatley, the 2nd for Austin Hunter. And I think the top 4 are going to start sweating a little, because 5th place now, Mark Kalin, is the leader of the cars on 2 pit stops, and they go all the way down to 13th Adam Zemke now, with also 15th and 16th Geyer and Roderick on 2 pit stops so far. So slightly fresher tyres for everyone in the second half of the top 10. There's every chance here that Bradley Holly, Thomas Sink, Jeff Evans and Ryan Goodall could be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, the timing of this one could be a little bit awkward for a few drivers in the field.
I think now at this point, the top 4 are going to be hoping that there's a caution every few laps to the end, because now those tyres are 42 laps old. And once they start getting past even, 20, 30 laps, they really start going off.
Yeah, and at this point, we're really closing that window to where they could pit and still have a chance to get back up. So it's really going to be a tire management game for those top 4 runners.
Well, the ball is in the court of Mark Kalin and Danny Cervantes, in particular, 5th and 6th. Bradley Holly, though, will be focusing more on his right foot than anything else. Bob Clement making a pit stop, and it looks like he's managed to get out ahead of the field, so he will come up to the rear of the pack, still on the lead lap. That's going to be good for Bob. The lights are now off on the pace car, and Mr. Clement doesn't have much time to catch up to these guys. Holly and Sink, front row. That's been the case for the majority of the racing in this second half of the round. It's going to be Ford and Chevy that bring them away, and they have got a trio of Fords behind them looking to make good on a potential mistake from them, but we will ride with Mark Kalin for this. Kalin, part of the Waterback squad, and he has fresher tyres than everyone in front of him, so this will be an interesting restart for him. When does Holly decide to go? There he goes, and unfortunately Kalin hasn't quite gotten the run that he wanted. Cervantes is going to snatch 5th place from him, and into the first turn they go. Kalin under a lot of pressure here. He's got Jim Westerfield coming up on his outside. Of course, Westerfield was the one who made contact with Abner Acosta to bring out that last caution. Adam Shane with him as well on the right-hand side of your screen in that Ford F-150. Cervantes now right on the back of Ryan Goodall. Those two have been working their way up through the field all night. Goodall up 26 and Cervantes up 23, both on the outside now of Jeff Evans as they make their way into turns 1 and 2 once again for a full pace race lap. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting here for Mark Kalin. Gets a good run out of turn 2, but he's a little boxed in. There's not many places he can go to try and make a move at this stage.
And this is pretty frenetic driving here. All 4 of these drivers trying to get into the podium positions. And it is definitely back and forth between all 4 of them. Kalin looking for somewhere to go, peeks the nose out to get a little fresh gulp of air. But Ryan Girdle there in the 14 on the outside. Started 29th. Looks like somebody having some problems back in the field there. The number's been scraped off the side from some wall contact.
Looks like Nicholas Hunter might have had a couple of issues, but he is still continuing, which is good to see, and it looks like that battle has almost sorted itself out. Kalin didn't get the best run out of turn 4. He had Cervantes on his outside, and Danny is going to try and hold that outside line here through turns 1 and 2. Goodall unfortunately falling back a bit, and the yellow flag is back out, and that looks like Brendan Chatley that has gone around. Looks like 3 wide contact is what ended up bringing that out. Very unfortunate for Brendan, innocent victim there. Austin Hunter and Dalton Gaia going side by side coming into turn 1. It looks to me like Gaia, he understeered a bit coming into turn 1, which brought him up into Chatley.
Yeah, 3 wide rarely works out here, and well, you see why.
It's a real shame for Brendan. He was having an all right run up to that point, but he's going to have to settle for 28th, maybe slightly better now as he comes up to the rear of the field. It wasn't very heavy contact, so the truck should still be good. But that's going to be any potential of a top 10 gone here, as there's 19 laps to go, and we're pretty sure that at this point now, this race is going to go time certain.
Yeah, definitely leaning that way.
Well, I guess these cautions coming out of a few laps is good news for Holly, Sink, Evans, and Ryan Goodall. They're able to preserve those tyres to the end. Unfortunately for Ryan, he did lose those 2 positions to Kalin and Cervantes during that last green flag run. So top 5 might not be on the cards for him if he's already used up everything that those tyres have to offer, as we saw Daniel Ailey there getting the lucky dog and unlapping himself. And it looks like Ailey back on the lead lap after that. That will be good for him. And he's still up 2 positions from where he started, so it should still be a ever so slightly profitable night there for the 666.
So with just 17 laps to go, or under 10 minutes, these cautions, the way they're falling, they're really working out in the favor of Bradley Holly. Not able to get a run going long enough for somebody with fresher rubber to get up and challenge him. And with these cautions resetting things, able to get the tires cooled off, maybe get a little more life out of it.
Yeah, very crucial. And also an element is the really good jumps that he's getting on the restarts. We have about 8 minutes on the timer from what I can see. So one more caution in the next 10-20 laps, and that will probably be the finish. So we shall wait and see. how that all works out. The lights should go off on the pace car here. We should be able to get back to green flag running very shortly as the field forms into their 2 rows. It is Waterback 1, 2, and 4 at the moment. Holly and Sink, and then Mark Kalin as well. You see the number 62 just lining up there behind Thomas Sink, trying his best to coordinate the start here. Kalin, of course, having his second set of tyres on the truck. No one else in the top 4 has that. So, Bradley Holly, his aim here is to get one heck of a jump on this restart as the pace car prepares to pull in. When does he decide to go? Quite early, effectively still in turn 4, but well coordinated with Thomas Sink. They get a good run and they filter through into single file, and it looks like Jeff Evans has managed to just get ahead of Mark Kalin there, but Kalin on the fresher tyres starting to round him up there in the mid-corner. Will he be able to get a good run around the outside? Evans has to compromise his line a little, but that's just allowing Sink and Holly to get away. And Danny Cervantes will be right there as well. Ryan Goodall, don't forget about him. He is, oh, there we go, caution back out. We didn't even get a full lap of racing in, and that is a big incident. I'm seeing at least 5, maybe 6 trucks smoking out of that. Cuellar Guerra, one of them. CM Pennington involved again. He has had no luck tonight. Jose Medina, Daniel Ailey, Clayton Montgomery, and Ricky Barbary also involved in that incident. And it looks to me like, oh dear, the number 3 of Randy Caldwell was involved in a big hit with Dalton Gaia. They were going almost 3 wide there. You'll see Abner Acosta here in the number 5 still trying to recover, going down to the inside, and oh, that's a big hit.
Ooh, yeah, and it just keeps piling on. Definitely a few trucks that are suffering some engine damage out of that one. I'm
hearing that something happened going out of 2 as well. We focus on this incident. Well, yeah, Abner Acosta got an excellent run there and went to the inside, and well, I don't think he had much to do with that incident, but goodness me. CM Pennington has got so many dings on that number 44. You can't even see the number 44 anymore. There's so many scrapes on that thing.
Yeah, Pennington just getting caught up in everybody else's business here today.
Oh, it actually looks like Caldwell might have gotten a hip check from behind from Brendan Chatley there. I just noticed that. That might have been what sent him down. Take one more look at it. Watch the white truck of Brendan Chatley. Yeah, there was contact there coming into turn 3. And that is what sent Randy Caldwell down. That's a big shame there. Caldwell not really at fault for that. Well, we have 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the timer, so we might be able to get one more green flag run in here, but the way these tyres are going for a lot of these drivers and the frenetic scrambles for positions, the drivers, of course, being aware that these green flag runs are getting ever shorter, so the window to try and gain positions is getting narrow, could potentially cause more incidents, and we could potentially finish under caution here.
Well, as they like to say, cautions breed cautions.
Ain't that the truth? Especially in the last half of the race when everyone is on different sets of tyres. But our top 2 Holly and Sink, they're still on the same set of tyres they pitted to put on 56 laps ago. I'm amazed that there's any rubber left on those tyres. They'd probably be down to the carcass if they were running green flag this whole time, but the cautions have really benefited them.
Yeah, thanks to these cautions, I think there's going to be a whole result here that I don't think would have happened without some strategy play otherwise.
Well, I think the big winner out of all of this is going to be Mark Kalin. He still holds on to third place. He's going to have to be careful of Jeff Evans. It is Waterback 1, 2, and 3 in the same positions they were at Eldora last week, but it's not a great start from Kalin. He didn't line up that start at all. He was going to get swamped there by Jeff Evans. He almost, he gets a bit of a hip check there from Goodall and Cervantes just behind him. They're still trying to advance their way further up. Cervantes on 2 stops, Goodall only on 1, remember. So there is a bit of a difference in pace between those two, and Cervantes will slip ahead of Goodall, who gets spun around. There's going to be a check from behind. That's going to bring the caution back out once more. Goodall getting a tap from Adam Shane, and that has involved Abner Acosta as well, it seems. So his night's going from bad to worse.
Yeah, there could be some big implications in this one.
Oh dear. That's a huge shame there for Ryan Goodall after the mother of all runs, and Abner Acosta full-on collected him coming through turn 4. He was stuck down there on the inside, and there was very heavy contact to the front left for Abner. So he's going to be limping to the end. But what a shame for Ryan Goodall. We'll take another look at it here. The number 14 just getting that slight tap, and you'll see Abner Acosta come in, and bam! That is huge there for Abner Acosta. But I would say even more huge for Ryan Goodall after the run that he's had. That's going to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, Ryan coming from 29th or 29th on the grid, and for it to end up like this is just absolutely heartbreaking.
Goodness me. Ooh, the number 54 there of Ricky Barbary having to check up, but unfortunately got slipped into a tank slapper. So it's been a very rough night for quite a few drivers. But the opposite of rough here for Bradley Holly. The timer now goes to 0. And looks like this is going to be classed as the final lap here. They are coming through turns 3 and 4 now. And we are going to finish under caution here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It is going to be Bradley Holly who takes home the victory here in the 5th round of 2022 Season 1. Not too sure if we're going to go for another lap under caution here, but the positions won't change. And that's going to be another victory confirmed for the number 184, extending his championship lead. But for Abner Acosta, well, he's down in the pits at the moment with heavy damage, so there's a potential here that he could slip to 5th, maybe 6th in the standings after this. Well then, coming through turns 3 and 4 once again, everyone weaving. The race officially classed as over here. It's going to be Bradley Holly, your winner here at New Hampshire. A fantastic result, and played the strategy quite well given the number of cautions. He and Thomas Sink will take the top 2, and Jeff Evans and the number 41 will hold on to 3rd place. Fantastic result there for the number 41. Mark Kalin not able to join his Waterback teammates on the podium, but it'll still be a very strong result there for him in 4th. But Bradley Holly will certainly be celebrating this. There we go. There we go. I think there's a lot in that smile. Holly knows that he's done everything right tonight, and he has consolidated that championship lead spectacularly.
Yeah, it's definitely the most emotion I think we've seen out of Bradley on camera.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, the victory donuts shall begin, and he'll be joined by Mark Kalin here on the start-finish stretch. There we go, giving his teammate a bit of help, tipping him into that victory donut. Well, as the drivers celebrate, we'll go to a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back very shortly with our official results and interviews with our top three.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in indoor series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Well, official results then from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, round 5 of the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series. Bradley Holly taking victory under caution. Thomas Sink will follow him home for a Waterback 1-2, with Jeff Evans completing the podium places. Mark Kalin finishes 4th, and Danny Cervantes, the biggest mover in the field, 23 places gained, rounding out the top 5. Charles Sumner is going to finish in 6th from 12th. That's not a bad run at all. Same for Adam Shane and Adam Zemke, up 8 positions each. Jim Westerfield making up 11 to finish in 9th, and Austin Hunter will round out the top 10.
Just outside of the top 10 is going to be AJ Roderick with a nice quiet 11th place run. Clayton Curry will be 12th, followed by Aaron Webb. 14th was Nicholas Hunter over Ryan Traver, then Paul Williams in 16th. Brendan Chatley recovers to finish 17th with Stacy Hunter, Doyle Lawrence, and Clayton Montgomery closing out the top 20, all still on the lead lap.
It was a shame for Montgomery, though. He started in 5th and was involved in incidents all the way through. Danik Momi is going to finish in 21st. Bob Clement finished 22nd. Cuello Guerra coming home in 23rd. Dalton Geyer, well, it was a top 9 start for him, but he's going to have to settle for 24th after being involved in crashes. And Ryan Goodall, what a shame for him. Perhaps one of the best climbs through the field I've ever seen, and it ended in tragedy with a caution incident. He'll have to settle for 25th at the end of it. CM Pennington coming home in 26th, and Abner Acosta, the first of our drivers to finish a lap down or more. He was involved in that final incident, and that's going to be a big points loss for the number 5. Daniel Ailey, Randy Caldwell, and Jose Medina will round out the top 30. And then we've got Ricky Barbre, I think will still be considered classified 12 laps down, but Richard Thomas and Colton Lane, well, actually Thomas did take the finish, so Colton Lane, our only confirmed retirement from this one, and Michael Lemieux did not qualify or take the start. So those are all of our cars there. And speaking of cars, we've got our top 3 coming in here for an interview. The first, of course, will be the number 184, Bradley Holly. Well, this looking to be a consistent pattern here, Bradley. Another win for you here at New Hampshire, but it all came down to the amount of cautions there, allowing you to preserve those tires.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a way too many cautions tonight. I made a comment in Discord that it's not good when you take tires on lap 14, you don't have to pit again and keep the lead.
Well, that's what worked out for you at the very end, and the race also going time certain, which certainly helped the strategy there, but largely came down to the fact that you were able to time those jumps off the restarts very well, and you obviously still had enough in the rears to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that when it started getting to the end, I knew if I could get a gap for big enough gap, you know, maybe if we went green on the last 5 laps, that I was going to be able to keep the lead and fight Mark off for the win, because I knew he was coming with those fresher tires.
Yeah, that was quite the interesting battle there, but it's going to be a 1-2 for you and Thomas Sink. A great result once again for Waterback, mirroring what happened last week at Eldora, and with Abner Acosta unfortunately involved in that last incident, that's going to be one less threat for you for the championship lead.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was surprised that he pit when he was, I think, on 11th at some point. At the same time, I was happy to see it, just because that gives me a bigger cushion going into the rest of the season. So we'll have to go into next week and fight Abner as hard as we can, and Tom and everybody else.
Well, I'm sure we'll get another chance to talk to you again at Chicagoland next week. Before we let you go, Brad, anyone you'd like to thank for your victory?
I'd like to thank the Waterback guys first off. We practice week in and week out, and you know, try to be up front and come up with the best strategy. I'd like to thank everybody at GSRC for broadcasting, as you always put on a great show, and everybody in PRL. We work hard to make these leagues as fun as possible, and I look forward to continuing that.
As do we. That's Bradley Holly there, taking the win here tonight at New Hampshire. A fantastic result for him. Next up, we've got the number 48, Thomas Sink, second place, stood by with Chris Phoebe.
Well, Tom, a pretty good run for you today. Unfortunately, the race not exactly playing out the way we'd hoped with the cautions, but hey, still second place has got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, that's kind of the goal, is to be able to compete with Brad for the championship and hopefully get one championship while I still race. So it was nice to get second.
Now, do you think if you had a longer green flag run, maybe you would have been able to do something with Bradley there? Or was second place looking like maybe a certainty for you?
Yeah, I think second was probably the best I could have done. Unfortunately, I don't know why Abner pit. I thought he had second locked up pretty good, and I was just going to kind of be content riding behind him. And then when he pitted, I actually was able to just kind of sit back and watch the line Brad was running, see how he was kind of launching up off the corners, and it kind of helped me get away from third and fourth, and I think those guys even had fresher tires.
I believe they did, but a couple good runs for you already this season, and
thank you.
We're heading into another good one next week. What do you think about what's coming up?
I'm always fairly optimistic. I think I can do fairly top 5, maybe top 10. My goal always is to get a top 10 and just ultimately have a good Waterback top 10 group finish.
All right, Thomas, anyone you'd like to thank to help make tonight possible for you?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my girlfriend for taking care of me over the last couple days. I've been under the weather, and she's been fantastic. I love her. Everyone at Waterback, you guys just really ripped it out, and I couldn't because I was sick. Muscle Farm for sponsoring the truck. Impression Window Tint in Urbana, Illinois, also trading paints. You guys, of course. I don't know how you guys sit up there and not go nuts with all the cautions. I feel for you guys. I hope we can make it entertaining for you guys.
Well, we appreciate that, Thomas. Congratulations on a good run, and hopefully we talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys. Yeah.
All right, back to you, Reese.
Great stuff there from Thomas Sink, overcoming sickness there to finish in second. Third place was Jeff Evans after starting in 6th. Jeff, congratulations. You were in the mix for the podium positions pretty much the whole way through. You must be satisfied with that result.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, very, very happy with how it played out. Wish the race would have gone differently, but in the end result is what matters, and I'll take it.
Well, you were one of the drivers, I believe, that only pitted once. Indeed, you were. So those tyres must have been crying out for some mercy by the end. And I think Bradley Holly and Thomas Sink would agree that the amount of cautions were a bit of a blessing in disguise there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one of those things where we knew we probably should pit like just after, I think it was like the second caution following our pit stop. And it's just one of those things we kind of took a chance that they were going to continue to be cautions. And after a certain point, there was really no turning back. We just kind of had to ride it out to the end.
Well, do you think more podiums are on the way? Chicagoland next week. How do you feel about that place?
I really like Chicago. It's been a track I've run pretty well at. So hoping to continue on picking up some podiums here and there the rest of the season.
Well, thanks for joining us, mate. Who have you got to give a shout out to for the podium?
First off, got to thank Phil with Miracle Flow, and then obviously the Waterback team. They've been pretty great getting everybody all set up every week here and there. And then just thank you guys for putting on a great show and PRL and the sponsors.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Jeff Evans. We were going to think about grabbing Mark Kalin for one or two questions, but it seems he has exited, so we'll get a chance to talk to him in the coming weeks, I'm sure, Chris. Wow, that was a pretty interesting night of racing. Yes, a good amount of cautions, but I don't think we approached insanity, as Thomas Sink may have suggested.
No, I mean, when we did have the green flag out, the racing action was pretty good. Honestly, a little bit better than I was expecting out of a New Hampshire race. Would have liked to have been able to get a little more green flag racing, but hey, we got the race in and we had a pretty good time, and we'll head to Chicago next week.
We shall indeed, and we hope that you join us for that on February the 2nd at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we go, we'd like to give big thanks to our sponsors once again. First off, Majors Garage, home of free Baseline Plus setups, 24/7 coaching and more. Head to majorsgarage.com and use our special discount code MajorsGSRC for 10% off. Also, our series sponsors, Advanced SimRacing. They design and build the sturdiest and most durable aluminium profile racing simulation cockpits available in the market today. Visit them at advancedsimracing.com. RaceLab. It helps you to improve your driving skills. Start using it now for free at racelab.app. ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing at thebuttkicker.com. And finally, NinjaTrader. Visit ninjatrader.com and get started with a risk-free trading simulator to start tracking your performance. Thanks must also go to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts listed here on your screen. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. Check out her Bandcamp page for more of her great work. Thanks to the team today. I'm Reese Gardner. I was joined by Chris Vobie, with Zach Johnson in the director's seat and Dougie Beard providing the cameras. You can find more info about GSRC at globalsimracingchannel.com or through our social media listed on the screen. Also, please check out our merchandise store at gsrc.storeenvy.com. We keep a link in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well so you don't miss a moment here on GSRC. As I mentioned, next race in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series is Chicagoland, February 2nd, 8:50 p.m. EST. Be there. And our next broadcast will be the PRL Formula 3 and Porsche Cup tomorrow at 8:25 p.m. EST. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.